There I am. How loud is this being picked up? Quite loud. Let me whip it out a little bit. All right, that should be pretty good. Okay. I think I want to just do one of the tables, to be honest. Just to get it out of the way. Like, hey, Salif and Salif, and Diaya. I'm terrible at names. Excuse my terrible English. So, like, I kind of want to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. So if we go to our Blender file, it's not even coming up. File, open recent. There you go. I got my ZBrush back as well, so I should be able to do stuff there. Yes, it's correct. Oh, wow. That makes a change. Oh, green shit. What the plan today? I think I'm going to do table. Not going to... Just through the wall. Not too much, but if I get this table done in here, at least that's 2, because I'm just going to duplicate over here. We get 2 tables done in here, so that's a big piece done, which is quite nice. So if we grab the table and chairs, should I text you at the same time? Hey, mate, come on, how's it going? Your file, export, FBX. Make sure to click selected objects. I don't know why that's not on by default. It frustrates me so much. I'm just gonna create a folder here. Call it. Call it. Just call it stylized table. I've already got stylized tables. Another stylized table. That's a terrible name, but let's go. Stylized underscore table underscore 5 beams. I need an SM at the start. Static mesh. Export. How long have you been working on this project? For ages, because I started a job as well a couple of months back. So it kind of went. It's been a bit on a slow one. Then I spent like 3 weeks making another asset. I say 3 weeks. I spent 8 to 16 hours. I'll show you what the asset was actually. I should put that. Wait, have I put the asset on my outstation? I could show in here. I got a lot of follows recently. Well, I say a lot. I got like 5. Here you go. So I spent a couple of streams just making this guy. Is that the same picture? No, it's not. So nothing too fancy. It's just a nice little thing to make. You look like a guy who's been in the woods for 4 months and maybe Agnes visits you because of a zombie outbreak or something. Hell yeah. And then I walk in. Like they come to me to help them. And they're waiting in like the breach room or whatever to make a plan. They come in all shaven and just looking like a beast. Like 6-pack and like... That's what I feel like, anyway. It is very hot in this room, by the way. Like, what is the temperature right now? Great Yarmouth temp. It's only 19 degrees, but it feels so hot. 80% humidity. I'm exhausted in this room. And my PC obviously heats up the room. My body heat heats up the room. It all adds up. And it's only a very small room, so it bounces that heat around quite a lot. Well, I just call it like Starlight's Table. That's why you should actually name your stuff. Wait, hold on a minute. What did I just call it? Oh, another Starlight's Table, wasn't it? Another Starlight's Table. There you go. I shook the menu slightly, so it minimized everything. Oh, back up. Get it back up. There you go. Get my stream back up in the other tab. Cool. Where is our thing? It's all the way over here. Where's that in the grid? Over here. What if I center plonk you over here? As close as possible. Are you guys watching the football later? I want to clarify now that I'm not into football. I was just curious. What do you think about the new Unreal 5? I think it's awesome. There's actually a couple of streams ago. What, it's about 3-4 weeks ago now. If you go to my channel, you'll see I had a little mess around in it. It was a month ago now, apparently. It says, okay, let's have a gander at UE5. Yeah, and it was just me messing around, seeing the new stuff, trying to make something quick. It was really cool. So we just need to UV map this. I won't be streaming for too long once again today. And that's become a very common excuse, I know, but I've just been so busy. But I still so much lately, not just work. A lot of stuff's come up recently, unfortunately. You guys know I like streaming. I want to be here. Well, I hope you guys know I want to be here. I wouldn't have this job at the moment, this art job from home, if I didn't stream. He saw my stream, thought I was cool, essentially. Is this duplicated? No. Wait, what? Let's reselect this. Thought I was cool, and then was like, I'm going to hire this man, and that's how I got my job. And I thought that was very, very cool. Thank you, boss man. Very cool. I'm trying to use Unity's, and oh my god, I just can't wrap my head around it. It's not garbage. I was about to say it's garbage. It's not garbage. I just need to learn how to use it. But things don't seem to be in my face in Unity like they are in Unreal. In Unreal, it didn't feel like it was that much of effort to learn because a lot of the stuff was sort of just there, and you could guess where things were. Like, you didn't know where it was. You clicked a drop down, and there it was. You know, it seemed it's very intuitive, is how I've always said it. Whereas I just don't feel that way of Unreal. Unreal with Unity. Unity just feels like I don't know. I mean, a common thing I've said a lot, and so of a lot of other artists, Unity tends to be favorable towards programmers, which makes sense. But alas, I am not a programmer, so to me, it feels like I'm using a jigsaw puzzle, trying to work everything out. And I don't like it. Two of these are wrong. That one's wrong. That one's wrong. That's right. That's right. That's right. Psych happened here. Aha, here. So to cut those pieces. Go. Get that side. That's a bit rough. I think that's going to tell how much our warps is it. It doesn't look that warped. That should be fine. Just one that selects either. Got unwrapped and neither the side on this side. Oh, I can tell what that is. That's right here. Cut. Nice. Cool. They're all done. Moving on to these guys. I kind of want to make them a tiny bit thicker because when I go into ZBrush, I'm going to be doing a lot of scratching and denting and stuff. Is there an option to see if your UV is stretched? Yes. So if you've got a stretched UV, click this button here. Or click this button, and it will show you what's red. So obviously I've not done these yet, but it'll show you what's stretched by what's red. So if they look white, that's a good sign. So right here, that button. However, I don't tend to use that button. What I tend to do is I'll click this button, which will essentially put a grid on it. I'll scale down our UVs, just so I can see them. And then I'll look around and see if there's any warping. And if I notice warping, like there's a bit here, not necessarily warping, but just sort of tilting and stuff, that's fine. Shouldn't make much of an issue with that. Over here, like, not really much warping. A bit here, you can tell there's a little bit of warping here, because look, boom, boom, boom. But again, not enough, I think, to cause any issues. Oh, that doesn't even come up flexed enough. There you go. Cap the ends. At the top, select the bottom. Personally, I use Rism UV, very powerful UVs. Yeah, I've had a look at it, but I still prefer doing most of them manually. This is still... I don't think, isn't Rism the same as Unfold 3D? Was it not? For some reason I thought it was the same company. Oh, did Unreal Unfold 3D change its name to Rism or not? I think they might be the same company. Yes, Unfold 3D was renamed to Rism. Yeah, it's the exact same tool. Rism is what essentially Maya uses. It's just called Unfold 3D in here. So I'm essentially using the tool you just mentioned. But my workflow is not to automate it or anything. It's to get it all done by hand because you will avoid... I've shown this so many times in previous streams. You can experience so many issues, especially if you're making in-game assets. If you try to do it all automatically and stuff. I'm not saying you did it automatically. You may have done it by hand too. I'm just saying. I don't ever want people to think I'm insulting them or anything. I'm just like, you know what I mean. I'm just pointing out things, not necessarily that's what you do. Just like that, like that. You know, I was watching Psych earlier, and it was like I'm not gonna say what it was. In the past, it was Unfold 3D. Yeah. So it's essentially the same tool still. I know that people like using all the tool menus. I just don't. Because I think they're completely unnecessary. It's like bells and whistles that I personally think you don't need. And I'll show you why. I think I missed one. Oh, no, we're all good. Because there's such a simple technique to getting your UVs done, no matter what your shape is. I actually went through 3 different formats of, or I guess, methodologies of UV mapping, and I said you got cubic, you've got spherical, and you've got cylindrical. And basically, for every single asset you work on, you have to decide whether you're unwrapping a more cubical, a more spherical, or a more cylindrical object, right? And I won't go through all of this now. I'll just give you a quick example of UV mapping. So let's just make a really random shape. I don't know. We'll just stick with the cube. Or actually, no. I'll redo one of these because it's a better example. I don't know where that cube went. There you go. So let's duplicate this. Pull this out. Let you. So for example, this shape. This is obviously a cubical shape. So I'll use the technique I'm about to show. All I do. So this part's all the same. Is I go modify. I go unitize. I select every edge on there. Then I come over here and start deselecting the edges where I want my seams. So I want a seam here. I want a seam across here. I want a seam here. And that's it. That's done. I click, well, not done, you know what I mean. I've selected my seams. Then I go, move and sew. Mix that. I select that. I then go modify. I then go unfold. It's the shortcuts control U, so I don't come in here very often. Am I blind? Where's unfold? Layout. Unfold, see at the bottom. And boom, you're done. And that's it. You can push Control L and it will lay it out in the UV sheet for you. But that's it. So essentially all I'm doing is using unitize, move and sew, and unfold. And then layout to get it on the actual spacing. And that's it. I don't feel like some of the other tools that I've not seen may be very useful. But from my experience, I've not found much use for using a lot of those tools when the basic tools do the job really well. Like, I absolutely have no complaints. How do I want to do this? Wrap it around that, probably. I don't know if knowing exactly how I want it to be set up with my seams helps for not using the other tool, because I always know how I want to get it like unwrapped, so that's never an issue for me. I guess I've just done it so much that it's become second nature at this point. I'm a loser. Lahu Zahur. Cool. We've got some space that's obviously not being used. That's fine. I'm not too fussed. I could select it all. Go to layout options. Turn off. Not off. Yeah, off this, and then click apply and see what that does, and see if it uses up a bit more of the room. It literally didn't change anything, from what I could tell. Nope. So I'll close it. I see. I use Lightwave 3D. Lightwave 3D. And for a long time, we had no option to cut edges for UVs. That's why. Oh, I can't use it in Blender. I know apparently UVing is very similar in Blender, but I couldn't find any videos that really broke it down for me to apparently understand. I'll just go over that. We'll do some ZBrushing today. I haven't had access to ZBrush for almost a month because my license, the company I work for, ran out. Actually, I don't think it ran out. I just think I needed to re-log in, but I didn't know the login information, so. Let me just go. I'm on the other monitor just for a second. Load an RFBX. Pop it in. Oh, something is very wrong. Have we got engons on here? We do have engons. Okay, so mesh, clean up, fix those engons. So I tell people, like, people always say to me, but Steve, it doesn't matter about engons. It doesn't matter about engons. Do you know why engons matter? Not because when you're actually in this modeling software. Whoa, Jesus. Because you get problems like this. And the same with substance. The same with baking. You get problems elsewhere with engons, not necessarily in the software. So when people say to me, but Steve, no. Engons cause issues elsewhere. That's all I'm saying. So if you don't want to run into issues a bit later on, try to avoid engons. So save that, so we've got a file to work from. 5 beam table. Cool. Oh, it's got a bend to it. I can't do that because the legs will get damaged. So instead we'll do this. I haven't been in ZBrush in quite a while, to be honest. Can divide one more time, probably. 1.3 million. Yeah, it's good. Make poly mesh, body groups, body group, and we start working at one at a time. This is what I learned in. Oh wait, engons are the enemies. Exactly. It's something you don't always pick up on. Like when you're using it, you're like, they don't seem too bad, and then you come to later and things stop working or they don't get imported correctly, and you can't figure out why. And engons are sometimes the cause. I'm not gonna say always, but I've just had a lot of people come into my chat like, they're fine. Like, stop telling people engons are fine. If you can avoid engons, and it's gonna take you 1% more effort, put that 1% more effort in. It's worth it to avoid some issues that could be caused. We want to build it up first, to be fair, so we've got tubes. Oh. You see that on the back? Gonna pull it, so I'm just go brush, water masking, back face mask, and that should be fine now. I want to reduce the intensity, it's way too high. So I just want a slight grain that's going to appear through the wood. Oh! I missed! Then we want to trim dynamic and get some of those flattened down. Not too fast with the underneath, but basically we'll come right over here, turn on the strength for this, turn on the raw side still, and we'll just get some flattened edges. So cool. Yeah. To make it a bit more wood-like, you know. Turn up the size again. Intensity's too low now. It's gonna take forever at that low intensity. Cool. In here, flatiness. Maybe not. That really doesn't like it. Well, yeah, I didn't subdivide it after putting it in, so I've got to have probably a couple of issues with trying to do stuff like this. That's fine, though. Oh, cracks. There you go. Hi, long time no see. What's up? What is up, Letterboard? How's it going? It's going good with me, because you asked that first, so I should probably answer. Been working, doing the daily grind. But it's been pretty good. Enjoying myself. How's schoolwork? I say school. I hate saying the term schoolwork, because in England, you will say school, college, university. Whereas America, I know you're not American, but very American. I don't know about other European places or everywhere else in the world, but in America they'll say, "Oh, I'm still in school," and they're like 21, and I'm like, "What do you mean you're still in school at 21?" But they mean they're in education because they call all of it school. And it always confuses me. I'm not going to put that much detail underneath. I thought that was the underneath then. Like I said, that was a waste of time. I'll just move it first. Smaller. Bigger. Vacation till September. Ooh. But gotta make a huge open world level during that time. Lots of modeling. In addition, I want to learn machine learning and create an AI to destroy the world, obviously. Oh, Jesus Christ. You're going like... I never get how people could do that. Like, there's so many people... I don't know how well you can be able to do it, but there's so many people out there I know, well, maybe not so many, that are like able to somehow program, model, level design. They just do it all. I'm like, how? That's so much to learn. It's crazy to me that some people can do it. That made some really nice wood detailing. So coming to here and we'll start is extending that detail out. That's just me. Too ambitious and have a lot of unearned confidence to be this. Unearned confidence, as in you have confidence, but it's not confidence you feel like you've earned, or as in you don't have the confidence. You've not earned it yet to be confident. A bit stronger. Oops, a little bit weaker than that. Cool. That's good. Nice bit of wood. Very nice, very nice. Move on to the next one. The one looks nice. Looking forward to see your progress with the scene. Thank you. I'll show you what I've done on the sea so far. I've been a bit lazy, and I made another asset in this time. I wonder if I've got it just in here. Wagon. Because I don't think you saw this at all. But for what, 8 streams, I was just like messing around making this. It's got an interior. Wow, why is the interior? Oh, because the light's on the opposite side. So why is the interior so dark? There you go. It's very fun. Oh, I must put some foliage in there. I always try to do the advanced stuff, even though I know nothing about it and almost always fail like, spectacularly. But I like doing it anyways because it's fun. Nice, love the textures. Thank you. That was super fun. I mean, you know what I'm like. I like doing these small asset scenes, and these big ones just take me forever. Obviously, this has basic coloring on it. I've got some floorboards now, though, at least. But if you come in, I've got more stuff going on up here now. Still a long way until finished, but we're getting more in there, making it look like it's more of a scene. We did the bird cage the other day. Nothing too fancy. Yeah. And I'm just doing this table at the moment because I feel like getting these in, and then finally getting these in will do this part of the room justice. I need decals to have spill bits on the floor. I need to get... To be fair, the biggest part I should be doing, but I don't quite know how I want to do, is getting all of this done. As soon as that's done, it's going to look a lot better. It looks like an asset for Zelda. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. It's pretty much exactly what I wanted. Let's lift up my monitor. Let's lift up this monitor. Yeah, you guys are a little bit higher now. And I could lay back and... Oh, that lowers my chair. Wrong one. Lean back a little bit. I can't lean back that much. Hello, the Deaf Ninja Tutorials. How's it going, man? Table was nice. Gives me appetite like the movie Ratatouille. With green, red, and blue potions. Hell yeah. I need to get some potions in, actually. Which would be awesome. Believe it or not, despite platformers... puzzle games, basically, despite exactly what Zelda is of a game, I've never played a Zelda game. And it's my favorite genre. Which is mental. And I really should. I wanted to play Breath of the Wild really bad, but I was like, I'll wait till it goes on offer. And it has never gone on offer. So I've never played it. It's very sad. Oh, I'm going to be very hidden for a time being. That's actually... Okay. This camera is so stubborn. There you go. So now when I'm down here, you can actually see my face a little bit. The smart way to have done this scene is I should have made a smart material that I could have just thrown onto all the assets. It would have been the lazier way and you'd have seen more repetition. It means I won't have to jump into ZBrush as much and basically make wood detailing, metal detailing and stuff. But honestly, it's still quite enjoyable. Sure, it takes me a bit of extra time, but it's quite enjoyable. And as I've always said, you should still enjoy doing 3D. Like, I know people, especially like my bosses, would be like, I got burnt out. Not my bosses, my teachers back in the day. Like, I got burnt out so early. I stopped playing video games because 3D lost my love for them. And I was like, really? Like, that's crazy to me. I would hope I would never lose my interest in video games just because I do 3D modeling and stuff. I'm way better at just like, oops, guessing where wood should disconnect. Oh my god, I keep undoing it. I like how I could have just redo, but I chose not to. Oh, well, it's not as high quality as I thought it was. Can I get one more subdivide? How much we got? 5 million? That should be fine. I need to go wise. Something like that. A little knot in it. Cool. I just need to make sure the planks don't do what this is almost doing and like get pulled back too far. That's better. That's better. When I play 3D games, I immediately think about modeling and becoming motivated, so there's definitely a connection, at least for me. I just don't have that connection. I remember when I was in second year of university, and we went to see... I cannot remember what the movie was, but we went to go see a movie. And I was with a couple of my friends, two of my friends. Well, yeah, I guess a couple. And they were like talking about the graphics. Instead of enjoying the movie, they talking about the graphics, the modeling. I think one of them was like, I could model better than that. And I looked at them like, no, you can't. But that just doesn't cross my mind when I'm looking at 3D stuff, when I'm enjoying a video game. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I joke about bad textures and stuff, but I completely disconnect it because I'm not doing it for... I'm not saying it's bad if you do, but I'm not doing it for motivation, and I'm not doing it for understanding how things are modeled and stuff like that. I'm doing it because I want to enjoy playing a video game. You know, I'm there because I've booted up this game because I want to enjoy it, not because I want to try to motivate myself to do 3D. That's just the way I look at it, though. Like I said, if you're different and you do get that, that's fine. I'm not saying it's wrong to feel that way. I'm just saying I don't. And if you ever watch a movie with me, don't sit there the entire time questioning all the graphics and it's just not very interesting to hear about. Sorry. Just the top side again. Going a bit too fast. You can see the repair of the lines. I hope someone in chat's seeing that now, like, but that's what I always do when I play a video game. Maybe it's because I'm highly sensitive, which really adds to the fact that nearly everything inspires me. For the better or for worse, it's like every single thing I perceive affects me deeply. Really, I'm a lot more of a numb person, and I mean this in every possible way. Even if physically, I just don't feel things as much as other people. I never have. And don't get me wrong, when I was a bit younger, I guess I used to. Because I remember crying a lot more when I was younger. I can't remember the last time I shed an emotional tear for something. I just don't feel as much as other people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know some people come in and be like, you therapy if you don't feel properly, and I don't think I don't feel properly. I just have a bit more of a different way of feeling. I just don't feel it as much. I remember someone saying I was dead inside in university. Things affect me. It's like even jump scares in games and stuff. I don't physically do anything, and that does affect me a little bit more. Emotionally, not emotionally, but basically if something jump scares me, I won't be like, whoa, Jesus. I'll be like, wow, whoa, oh, that was really scary, because I felt a bit inside. I just don't feel it on the outside. Do you feel like it makes life easier or harder for you? I guess that's hard to say, really, because I don't have a point of reference. I'm a lot less... I don't feel like I'm a terrible person. I feel like I try to put myself out there to help others. But at the same time, I'm way less... can't think of the word. I don't care as much about someone else's emotion if I personally think they're being too emotional over something. Like I know people have depression and anxieties and stuff, and I'm a very anxious person. I always feel like my anxieties really get to me, and they don't affect me that emotionally. They just sort of make me feel a certain way. But I don't sit there. I've always hated the idea of, because people are like, I hate labels, but then they'll sit there and say, even without being said by a psychiatrist, like, oh, I have depression, or I have a split personality, or I anxieties and all this. I'm like, are you saying these things because they're true, or are you finding a reason to not be motivated? So, oh gee, whoa. So I don't know. I feel like being less emotional does make me have less sympathy for other people's emotions. But I think it's not necessarily in a bad way, because I do think emotions can be overcome way more than some people anyway, seem to believe. For me, it's definitely the latter. It's getting worse, and now even affects the content I'm still able to consume without breaking down and becoming unable to work. See, at a certain point, sure, therapy is helpful. I'm not saying it's not. People very much misconstrued what I'm trying to say with this kind of subject, which is why I don't bring it up very often. I mean, some of the stuff I've told my friend, he thinks I'm depressed, legitimately, because some of the stuff, oops, not that one, because it's like I don't remember positive experiences very well at all, and I've never been able to, I don't know why, but yeah, I for some reason do not have a keen memory of positive experiences, but I can remember negative ones very well. That's very odd. I don't know why I'm like that with that. But I mean that to the extreme. I went to go see a comedian on our 16th birthday. I do not remember. I do not even remember going, even though apparently I really enjoyed it. I find that very odd. Technically, you only need cognitive capacity to emphasize with people to be... Yeah, exactly. I know. I've still... It's not like I've not felt those emotions, you know. I know what it feels like. I've been upset. You know, I've been... I get... You know, the two emotional states I go through the most on a day-to-day basis is happy, which... Actually, let's say three. It's happy. There's annoyed. Not angry. I very rarely get actually angry. It's more agitated than anything. And I guess neutral, feeling sort of nothing. During the day, that's really the only few emotions I tend to go between. It's very odd. But like I said, I don't think anything's wrong with me. I think that's absolutely fine. That's how I feel. And who knows? Maybe I'm not even fully recognizing some of the emotions I experience, whether because they're minor or because I'm just not consciously thinking about them, and my subconscious is. This is really weird conversation. I'm so sorry for anyone who's joined the stream and wanted to just watch or learn about 3D. I do go off on tangents sometimes. I do apologize. I get interested by almost everything. I've always said that, actually, because I hate it when people pretend to be interested. It's like, if you're not interested, I'd rather you tell me, oh, Steve, no, I'm not interested in 3D. Don't talk to me about it. Okay, cool. That's fine. You know, that sounded really rude. Like, I'm not interested. But no, I'd rather hear that and instead of 1 week, oh, yeah, I did this. How's that work? Oh, it works like this. The next week, oh, I made this. How's that work? I told you last week, but it works like this. Next week, oh, I made this. Oh, how's that work? I've told you it works like this. Like, it gets to a point where I'm like, you're clearly not interested and you're only pretending, because you'd take the information in otherwise. Whereas I find everything interesting. You can walk up to me and say, Steve, I don't know, I've learned how to skydive. Tell me all about it. Steve, I've learned how to knit. What have you made? Tell me all about it. Like, I just find everything interesting. I always have. I'm just that kind of person. Deeper. Gotta go deeper. Well, that looks like wood. I think if you're not suffering directly or indirectly, then nothing wrong with... But I think that's also something I find very odd that people used to do all the time in university, was because someone didn't act necessarily normal, they would think something's wrong with them. And I find that so strange. Oh, you know what? I bet this has ruined the bottom side. Yeah, it did. I find that so strange, because just because someone acts differently, that could just be their personality. That's just who they are. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. Sure, if it's someone like... No, I don't want to mention those things. But it's certain people, sure, you could say that too. If you met them, you could say, oh, maybe there's something wrong with them. But I'm talking about people who, to me, acted normal. Like someone who was, for example, very desperate for women. And he... Or for a girlfriend, I guess. And he acted very desperate. But I wouldn't say anything was wrong with him. He just wanted a girlfriend. I don't know. It's a very touchy subject. So I'm glad none of you here has taken what I've said out of context. But thank you so much. It's very hard to talk about this kind of stuff about people wanting to take it out of context. That mostly only remember happy memories when you're happy and sad memories when you're sad. See, I just don't often remember happy memories. I think if you... Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't read the previous one. I think talking about these subjects is quite important. Not necessarily with an art crowd like you guys, but in general. These subjects are very important for us to talk about because I feel like they're misconstrued and they're not fully understood by a lot of people. And like I said, a lot of people will just say to you, I suffer from this, and try to get away with certain things. I'm like, it's like my mate Jack actually said the other day. He was like, just because you might suffer from something or you might have something doesn't mean you can be a scumbag. You know, it may be a catalyst, but it's not an excuse. And you should never try to use it as one. Again, it does depend on what it is. But some of the happiest people I've known, or some of the people who've acted the friendliest I've known, were like one of my friends in school. I don't know what happened to him, but he got leukemia, and he was one of the nicest blokes I knew. And he never acted horrible just because he had something wrong with him. I don't know. We can all be nice. I feel like we've all got the capacity to be nice to one another. So the problem with this, I did not put edge loops on this, so this is going to be very awkward to look right. Because when I knew I was going to do that. Disorders are disorders. Disorders are explanations, not excuses. They only might affect the reasons why people do certain stuff, and as a result might affect whether you can forgive them for their actions or not. Yeah, I get that. That makes a lot of sense. So additionally of these sort of conversations I have, is not everything I'm going to say is my set in stone way of looking at it. I'm always welcome to other people to say something and try to not necessarily change my opinion. I don't want it to be an argument, but to think there could be, like, if you believe completely different and you believe you could say something that could, you know, at least get me to understand your perspective. That's fine. Big up, Steve. All right, Skeen, what a name. We're talking about serious stuff today, apparently. I don't know why I've randomly started talking about serious stuff, but it's always interesting. wow. I clicked it right in the corner. Of course I did. How do I move it again? Oh, well, too late. No. No! Can't remember how to change the way it is, so I'm just going to move it. Move it like this. Let's see. Might be my fault. Always happens in the group. It's an interesting subject. I'm not a particularly person who backs away from certain subjects. I'm not afraid to stress my opinion on them. If you bring up a conversation, your intention shouldn't be to have the person you're talking to. That's not me saying this is you doing this, Letterbond. I'm just saying in general. If you bring up a conversation to somebody, your intention should be to hear their thoughts on it and not to expect them to agree with you. That is how arguments are formed. If you expect the person you're speaking to instantly go, yeah, I completely agree with that. If they come out with, no, you know what, I don't agree with that. I think you're wrong. You shouldn't get upset over it because you've put yourself into that position. I made that one very thick in the end. How do I move that? Oh, that moved it somehow. Oh, what? I just want to sit up straight. Definitely think it's super interesting to hear other sides. Exactly. And then there's something opinion based. It's hard to be wrong. Because when it's an opinion, in a way, nobody's wrong. Oh. How's the progress? I like that more. How's the progress? It's going pretty good. We're just making a table at the moment. Same old stuff. Making wood textures. Making it look like it's a wooden table. The lower subdivision looks like that. Then boom, details. So far in here, we've done basic coloring mainly, and we've got textures on some stuff, but it's still a slow burner. You know, nothing too speedy right now. New word, progress. I like that. Hello, Tom. Or Tomansky, depending on what you prefer. Oh yeah, I've got that sword over here. And then downstairs, the best room so far is definitely this room because it's got the most finished in it. Essentially, all I've got left is this, maybe better glass, this framework, and then the white bits. And then this camera shot would be done. Got some stuff over here. And we're just doing these tables right now. Yeah, getting pretty good. Oh, I wanted to do this. You're twitching also? No, I don't twitch. Because when I used to twitch, no one used to watch, unfortunately. I know that's... But you shouldn't do it for the views. But I used to get between 0 and 4 viewers over 2 years of streaming. It didn't feel worth it. Okay, things are starting to look good. Thanks, man. Progress sounds like 2 or more good friends were working on it and having lots of fun. I like that. Doing silly stuff throughout. That's what I do with you guys. That's why this is progress. Because we're just messing around, having a good time. So I'm strength a little bit. That's good. And then I'm just gonna do these. You have Unreal assets in the store. I only have a couple. Epic Marketplace. I want to put this in the store. Not for actually using, but just so anyone who's a fan of the channel can buy some, I guess, like merch. Sounds like not the correct word, but you know what I mean. Like, if you wanted to support me, even though this scene isn't going to be very well modulated, I feel like it'd be a nice one to throw out there for you guys to buy if you really wanted to support the channel. So this is all the stuff we've got in the marketplace. Yeah, good way to do it. It's like the weirdest merch ever, because it's actually something you could find use for, you know? It's not just a poster you've put up somewhere, you know? We got a water shader that I made one. I literally was in bed one day and I was like, I really want to make a water shader. And I got up and I went, I have a good idea on how to make one. And I just did it. I just did it. It took me 15 hours. Ugh, I think so. We got this scene, which obviously all this is all for sale. You can why not have a picture of it all laid out somewhere? Oh, I forgot to do that picture. I should have done that picture. There's a picture of it all laid out, so you can see all the assets separately. Why don't I have that picture? That would make this look way better in the marketplace. I might do that sometime later. Weapon pack. This is some. Alright, looking weapons. And a farm. Is it modular? Yeah, it's all modular. If you actually look at the houses here, all of this is just like I put them together and made it up with the modular kit I made. I didn't make I made one building as one asset, and then I basically took all that apart and then used those to make these buildings. Take a look at the useful links. Ooh. Cubic starlight. I'll look at this afterwards just so it's not part of the stream. This looks interesting. These also put what's kind of, you need to drag a triangular object on it. Okay. I'll look at that off stream. That looks really interesting. At me in there so I remember to look at it. Do you think you need to have a basic understanding of math concept to create original materials from scratch, or just understand the nodes really well? I feel like maths has come in handy, but only really simple stuff, right? Like, nice, you added me. Oh no. All right, at me again when I'm not clicked in the channel, so it's still there. At me another time right now. Sorry about that. But what's this talk about? Yeah. So materials. So like. If I got any examples, I don't think I've got any advanced materials in here. So like, a good example, let's just make one. So let's go glowing. So understanding the nodes is obviously helpful. So if I go time, plug that in there. What this will do is essentially make it go between. So the time is basically make it go between values or whatever, whereas sign will make it go between -1 and 1, I believe, right? So now, this kind of is like knowing maths now. So if I divide this, I know it's going to make time go slower because I'm expanding that time frame by dividing the numbers out, right? So if I turn this to 5, we'll have it stay that for a while, go dark, come back up, right? Yeah, -1 and 1. Now, this is when I'm going to talk about basic maths. I know it's -1 and 1. So if I don't want it to turn to black and stay on black, I can think to myself, okay, if I add 1 to that, it automatically will have 1. We're now going between 0 and 2. Now, if I say to myself, okay, I don't want it to go above 1, I just want it to be between the values of 1 and 2, I can now go, all right, now let's divide that by 2. Because it was dividing 0 by 2 is 0, but dividing 2 by 2 is now 1. So now we're going between 0 and 1. So now I have a light that flashes between going all the way up to the max value of 1 and dropping all the way back down to the lowest value of 0. So it's like, see what I mean? Like, that's at the most maths I could probably say you actually need. Sometimes you're using conjunction, like a couple of mathematical things, always that simple, or mostly anyway, in conjunction with each other. But separated out, it's still that simple most of the time. Does that make sense? But because I know what the nodes are doing, I know instantly how to make, for example, a glowing material. Then if I said to myself, okay, I want to color this material in, and I want to make it a red flashing material. Now, I want this to actually go above the value of 1 when it actually flashes. I want it to get really bright. I can go back to multiplying this. And I could say, oh, I want it to be really bright when it gets to its max value. Now you could say, oh, but then why didn't you just like take away the divide? I could, but at least I know when changing this number exactly what I'm multiplying it by. Whereas here, it's going between 0 and 2. So if I'm multiplying it by 20, I'm going between 0 and 40 now. Whereas after the divide, I know I'm going between 0 and 20 if I'm multiplying by 20. I hope that makes some sense. I feel really guilty when I explain these things, and if it doesn't make any sense. And advice, never divide, use multiplication with a small number. It's much faster. I guess that's true, yeah, because you could always multiply it by 0.5. But I feel like from a person who is not very good at maths, that won't be as obvious. Because that should now divide essentially by 2 by multiplying it by 0.5. And have the exact same result. I wonder what's more demanding. But yeah, now this will be a glowing material. And simply because I know how to use the nodes, and 2, because it's basic maths. You know? Where's the weed? My dealer's not available at the moment because of the pandemic, fortunately. Steve, you got any course or paid stores I can sign up to? I'm currently at uni and being taught absolute nothing. Yeah, that sounds about right. I unfortunately do not. All my content is free on YouTube. If you do want some tutoring, I do paid tutoring where you can, pay me for however many hours you want to hire me for. I'll probably charge you less depending on if you want more hours. And I will teach you what you want me to teach you. If you want me to design a small lesson plan, I will do, Look at this guy. I've only ever done tutoring twice. And one of the guys came out of prison and wanted me to help him 3D model a prison. And I was like, and then he vanished. I was like, okay, that was really weird. When I was in uni, I was also working in a studio. My teacher in 3D was also working for the same studio. And I was his boss. That is hilarious. I'm going cinema today to watch Black Widow, which is why that's my busy today, but I still consider that kind of stuff important, Even if it's for my own well-being or it's for to socialize, I still consider that time that's needed. After saying I don't feel emotions, I need the feel goodness of watching a movie at the cinema. I want to clarify, when I was talking about emotion earlier, I don't mean I don't feel any ever, I just don't feel like I receive them as much as other people. When I was blah blah, yeah, that would be great. I will message you on Discord. Awesome. I do work full time, so I'll have to be either after work or on the weekends. But I will design a plan, and I won't make you pay for that if you do want me to come up with a. For example, if you're like, oh, I want after 2 weeks for me to have done this and you to have taught all this, I'll make a small plan so we can go over what we want before starting anything. I'm just amazed that you guys think I'm good enough to teach this kind of stuff. Like, I don't think I'm awful. But I don't think I'm anything fantastic either. So your time is out for renting, basically. Yeah, pretty much. Dude, since I turned 30, I understood that time for yourself is very important. Take your time. Awesome, bro. Your stuff is sick. I learn more from your stories than I do at uni. That's so good. I love that I can actually be helpful to other people. And obviously, you know, having them out there for everybody to look at. I actually used to... I haven't been offered this in a very long time, but maybe 5+ years ago when I was making tutorials, I used to get contacted by companies all the time about, oh, take your tutorials down, put them on our website, on our tutoring website, and people can pay for your courses and pay for your videos. And I was like, no, man. You know, I would charge for tutoring because it's taking up, you know, individually my time for a one-to-one. But when it's a tutorial or it's a video, I want that to be free to everybody. I want people to be able to learn without being limited to how big their wallet is. Like, it's so strange to me how that became such a norm for tutorial makers and stuff. I'm glad there's so many out there who would still say no to that. Good mindset to have. Thank you. It's crazy to me how education is such a expensive thing in certain countries, man. Like, you'd think as a country you'd want to keep everyone educated for a decent price, because when the older generation who are smart pass away, if you don't keep the younger generation intelligent as well, you won't make progress as not only a nation but as a freaking race. It's so important. I do need to learn weapons having skellies, aka bowstring, and armor attached to skelly modular. Oh, I actually know someone who knows exactly how to do that. I've been giving him the assets to put on a character at the moment. Actually, I kind of know how to do it, to be fair. It's not too difficult. The string one's a little bit annoying. Can be a little bit annoying, or like a bow, but it's not too hard either. What point do you think somebody is good enough to make tutorials for others? I think as long as you know how to do anything that you think it, like, even though they're a small minority might not know, I think that's enough. A lot of my tutorials was when I first learned something, and I thought that's what Napoleon said about education. Was it actually? That's interesting. But it's true. You know, if you don't keep the young educated, it's never going to end well. That's how the world works. That's how things have always worked. It's as simple as, you know, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish, and he'll never starve. It's the same concept of anything. I know that's not quite the quote, but I think it's, and he'll never go hungry. My character has 17 modular skelly parts under armor and armor. Okay. That shouldn't be too difficult. I think a big part of this right there is why I want to learn machine learning for my little baby AIs. Oh, I've lost train of thought. What was I about to say? Yeah, it's a big reason why I like streaming. It's not necessarily to well, what it is for teaching, but it's not necessarily oh, I want the viewership. And it is nice, obviously. Seeing those numbers go up to anybody is nice. If I had 500 viewers one day, if I could live off of, you know, somehow streaming, that'd be awesome. I could spend every day showing people how to do 3D, and I could try to help people and make enough money to help myself. Unfortunately, money is what people need, and it's just, you should never get mad at someone for wanting money, but you should appreciate those who give out stuff for free, in my opinion, like a lot of tutorials on YouTube. I have to go. Thank you for your Thank you, Steve, for your advice. See you next time. See you, man. Have a good one. Thanks for staying so long. As soon as it's time to lose default assets and start making my project. I think this is enough. I think we may have made him too thin, but we'll see. Oh, we actually already UV mapped it, which is brilliant. But I will really export it out to make sure the UV maps are fine. Maybe J, no, FPX. No. Export. Now, how long are you going to take to do that? Maximum. The big boy. Oh, wait, did I just click divide again? I'm an idiot. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to file, export. Hi, poly. Yes. Come into not Unreal. Oh, look at this little cannon I got over here. This boy. Aw. He's outside as well, actually, as a full cannon. But he's in here too. I want to stack the shelves, I think, with throwbacks. I want to have like old scene stuff on there. I want to have maybe even a realistic asset from an older scene. I think that'd be really cool. Using brush is significantly better than Blender in terms of sculpting, and I have to just justify paying for it. No, I hate saying ZBrush is justified of how much it costs. If you can get away with doing it in Blender, I would say it's worth it to just use Blender. But ZBrush is quite a powerful tool, and if you can dip into your deep pockets and get some money out for it, if it's possible that you can do that, it's probably worth. I'm obviously getting funded. I say funded. I'm getting software by the company because I'm using the software for my company at the moment. So for me right now, it's definitely worth because essentially I'm getting it for free. It's weird to say, but I guess I am. Save that to my desktop. Table 5. Someone in my chat, one of my comment sections the other day, this was hilarious. His name was Boris. I like saying like that, even though that's probably not the correct way. So Boris, I say Boris. I think it's because I used to play Red Alert and I saw someone that was called Boris, but someone called Boris called me cute. And I was like, oh, thanks. But that was a very funny comment. I appreciate it. Right, we'll do a second unwrap here because they should change a tad. The second layout. This will move one of the ones that I don't want to move. Oh, oh! Somehow that made it stick in a bit nicer. Lovely. Much warping? Not by the looks of it. Cool. Looking swanky. Re-export that. I tend to save over the file a lot. Because I got it in Maya anyway, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. Sure, I'll save this. I didn't really do much of export. Wait for that to write. Have a bit of a drink. It is so warm. Is my computer hot? My computer is hot. Woo! I am a sweaty boy. Has it done? Oh, it did something. Oh, hey! Lovely. Oh! Oh, I thought ZBrush just closed itself. Save. One more time. Yes. Close it. Good habit to have is close your other softwares when you're not using them. Otherwise, you may eat up your RAM and stuff and your processing. Something I have a bad habit of not doing, but it can be useful if you don't want things to randomly break. Or get a blue screen. Substance. Substance is worth. I don't know how much Adobe has put up the pricing or anything, but Substance being like, what, £200 for the year? When I think ZBrush is like £80 for the month. It's brilliant. When you say warm, do you mean 15 degrees? 15 degrees being British. It's 20 degrees at the moment. To be fair, it went up to like 28 the other week. It gets Well, in Britain, well, I don't know if it's other places, but we get really high humidity. We had 100% humidity the other day, and it was just like, it was like breathing thick air. It was horrible. I do find it funny because Americans do that all the time. Like, oh, but it doesn't actually get hot in England. We've been up to like 35 degrees, I think, at one point. And we don't have aircon. There you go. We got up to, in 2019, so only 2 years ago. Only 2 years ago, we got up to 38.7 degrees. To be fair, I'm also a very warm person. All it needs to do is get up to about 10, and I start feeling warm. I love the cold. When I was in London, they closed the subway because it was so hot, Jesus. But like I said, the biggest thing, when especially when America makes fun of us, is we don't have air conditioning. Houses do not have air conditioning, at least not on average. How many UK houses have air conditioning? 0.5% of English houses have air conditioning. I don't know about you guys, but I just know when my American friends have been like, just turn on the aircon. I'm like, oh, we don't have one. America, 84% of all American houses have some kind of air conditioning. Also, the humidity, that sucks, yeah. Our humidity's been above 80% the last couple of weeks. It's horrible. I hate it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Other places don't either. I just know Americans, when I've spoken to some American friends, they'll say these kind of things. I'm like, you guys have aircon. It must feel way better being able to sit in a house with an air conditioner. I have a fan. I have a big fan. I would show you, but my room is a tip right now. Oh, I was like, what is that? Yeah, Spain's justified. Cool. Got some issues here. So we'll lower these down a bit. He says while hitting the wrong key. We'll half them and see what that does. A little bit better. Not brilliant. Sometimes you don't need to worry about this because people won't get that close to your object. If you actually look at a lot of game objects that have pieces that get this close together, you will have this like weird warping effect and stuff. Ah. You shouldn't have that though. That's bad. Interesting. Get back to normal. Was it fine when it was normal? Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it at that for now. You could always manually fix the normals layer. I also got a fan because of the heat and just arrived. It became cold-ish again. No, nice. Is football coming home today? I have no idea, but I don't care. I'm literally going to go watch Black Widow while the game is on. So many English people would be so upset with me. And I find that hilarious. Oh, rock. Right, I've got to make some stylists of rocks. Well, I literally could not care less about football. And I have friends who, if I said that to, would actually just cry. I think what makes me sad about football is it seems to be the thing we're most proud of as a country. As just a single sport. I'm like, that's really lame. I find that so lame. And a lot of people I know who are into football, it seems to be like their only interest. And I find that so strange. Like, I'm not trying to like put you down for like, oh, football's my favorite thing in the world. But to have it as your only interest, like I've got friends who go to work, come home, either watch football or play FIFA. I say friends. I know people like that. They wouldn't be my friends because I'd have nothing to do with them. Like they wouldn't want to do anything with me because I have a lot of other interests. Like just somewhat at the top of my head, video games, 3D modeling, music, kind of music's developed recently. Reading. What else do I like to do? I used to train a lot with nunchucks and stuff like that. I used to do martial arts. Airsofting, I used to call it. Basically going out into the field to shoot each other with airsoft guns. I like weapons. What else do I like? I used to do so many different things. This is just at the top of my head as well. I mean, already I've got like 8. Whereas I know so many people who just like football and then just play FIFA. Or go outside and play football. And I'm just like, guys, do you not do anything else? I know it's mean, and I know I should not be judging other people for doing something different to what I do. That's terrible. But I still find it strange. UFC fan? I don't actively watch it, but I find it interesting, yeah, for sure. Like I said before you got here, Skeen, I have an interest in almost everything. I find almost everything interesting. And that's, you know, that's one of them. I find that very interesting. Oh. One thing I've started doing recently. Oh, you got experience in music production? No. I meant like listening to music. I've written a few songs and would like to produce them, but according to a teacher who knows about production, the cost could be to be personal for an album. I want to do further research myself, but I haven't got into it. That's cool. You have so many, like, interest is the wrong word, I think, here. Career choices, I guess. It's a lot of things. I'm not at all saying it's a bad thing. Like when I was growing up, all I wanted to do was make video games. And not even like I want to make a game. I knew I wanted to be a 3D modeler. I knew very early on exactly what I wanted to do. And that's all I want to do. Whereas you are very seem very expansive in the stuff you want to do. That's awesome. Guess it depends. Maybe in some conditions they would fund it, kind of the book editor publisher. Maybe, but I don't know. I know you can get funding for some really random crap. I'm not calling your work crap, but like the amount of companies who are like dodge tax or dodge payments or things. It's like, oh, we got funded by the government. I'm like, you got funded by the government? What? Or a random charity. I'm like, how did you convince a charity to fund you for that? That is mental. Mhm. Doing over there instead. I got a book published too. I'm like you in that regard. Every single thing that could possibly be related to creation interests me. I just find things interesting, man. People always think I'm lying when I say to them, I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. Like, you don't think that's cool. I'm like, no, I do. Like, it's just awesome. It's awesome that so many different people have so many different interests that, and the reason they're interested in it, sorry, and like how good they are at it. All of these things come together, and I'm just like, that's so cool. I remember because you'd always used to get like the old grandpa. I never had any grandparents, unfortunately. They all passed away when I was very young. But you always had like The Simpsons, for example, and the grandpa telling like war story stuff. They used to get really bored. I would love that. That would be so cool. Just to hear about the past and hear about like how things used to be and how they used to work and how, if they were to talk about war, how war was like. That is so interesting. I don't think this looks as good as I wanted it to. It looks a bit speckly. I don't like it. I think I want more like that. Be a 0.3 blur. 0.2 blur. Aha, okay. I think that's a bit bad. See what that looks like. And then we'll call it a day. Really enjoyed myself today. The other Sunday, I think we had one viewer like the entire day, but we've actually had some people talk. So it's really nice. I hope I've stayed somewhat entertaining. I know it's not always entertaining to watch this kind of stuff, so. My grandma recently passed away during one of your streams. During one of them. Wow. I know it's not funny, but kind of, I have a weird sense of feeling. Jesus. Wow. I remember saying something that my friend thought he was being horrible when he asked, so it didn't affect me. Again, my parents, they died when I was very young, my grandparents, so I have no emotional connection to being told, to mentioning their deaths or anything, because I didn't really know them. And I remember walking home once with my friend Brian, really nice guy. I haven't spoken to him in a while, actually. I'll probably try to. And he was like, mate, everyone calls their grandparents. He probably didn't use the word mate. So everyone calls their grandparents different, like grandma, grandpa, Mima, whatever, Nana. All these different terms. What do you call your grandparents, Steve? And I looked at him like, I don't know, dead. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, that's fine. It's hilarious. He felt so guilty about it, and I was saying it. I don't even remember saying it that way to be funny. It just happened to be the first thing that came to my mind. Also, if you're ever doing assets speedy, you know, always have the expectation they might not turn out as good as you wanted them to. That's fine. And sometimes you can find a use for them somewhere else if you're not going to use them in the spot you intentionally made them for. It's just one of those things. Obviously, I make all my assets in a very short time period because I make scenes. I know people who spend like incredible amount of time, making one asset. They'll spend like 3 months making one asset. And I don't mean... Oh, right. Of course. And I don't mean like... Let's scale it down in here. And it's not a bad thing because they want to be a prop modeler. But if you do want to be environmentalist, never beat yourself up that things don't look as good as someone else's one asset that they spent 5 months making, because you're not going to spend 5 months making your assets because you're making a scene. It's just one of those things. Never feel bad about that. Cool. Get textures in. I think it's pretty funny in that context, considering you didn't know them. Yeah, you know. 5-beam table. I have no idea what to call it. We've got a 6-beam table in the other room, 5-beam table in here. Wait, did I? Oh, wait, let's do this so I can see all of them. There you go. I've got to do that too for my walking simulator for cosplay next year. Still don't know how to go about it though, since I got to lead the player through the level in a way the story makes sense. Oh. Your work sounds so much more interesting than when I was in university. The current material, yeah, it's fine. It should fix itself. Go. Oh. Might be a little too bright. I mean, if I just want to get rid of lower the overall color, I can. Well, that's a little bit more thing. I think I may have just made the top a little too bright. Let's grab this table and compare it. Are you serious? Wow, they turned out somehow very different. That's very interesting. So now where I could do it. Oh wait, so color's not that far off, it's just got more white to it. Let's tone down this. Make the overall color a tiny bit darker. Cool, let's come into these, make them blurry, I guess. Go a bit more intense on them. Like this. That's better. Make them a bit more blurred. A bit more blurred than that. Cool. So let's touch up a tad to get some more detail there, and then turn this down like that. Cool. And blur out this one a little bit. Well, not blur, turn it up a little bit. What about like that? After I've explored it once like this now and got it into the engine, what I can do now is I can That's the wrong table. Just realized. I can get back to where the textures are. But let's me click the magnifying glass. There you go. And what I like to do, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. What I like to do is I like to look at it, right click, re-import, and then see that change from the two different. Okay, that looks way better. So I think it needs to be a tad darker. 0.65. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, where am I? So don't be afraid to compliment your own work. If you're like me and you didn't have people compliment your work for a very long time, it's somebody to do it, you know. If there's nobody to ever compliment your work, it can feel very daunting. Oh yeah, I did these way more blocky looking. This is just more of a sharper design. I don't think it doesn't match. It's just a little bit different. Oh, that's going through the table. Looking good though, looking good. I just need to essentially replicate that for down here, which I could use the same like mesh kind of, where I basically delete off two of them. But then I'd have to squish these down. That could work and save me time. We'll see. All right, that. Oh wait, I haven't read some stuff. Put this together. Let's start again because then I will get more information and an entire new course. Cool. Do you sometimes use Unreal FPS player controller to walk around the scene? I think that would look really impressive to experience it like that. I actually sometimes get the VR working so I can look around the scene. Hey Steve, in one of your future projects, would you want to voice act? I love voice acting. One of my future projects. I thought you said mine. I don't know why. I was like, why does that matter? Hell yeah, I like to do voice acting. That'd be cool. Are you looking for normal voice acting? It's like, whoa, man, get out of there. or you're looking for specific voices. For those of you who don't know, one of the voices I do is one man, one mission, one desire. Yeah, it's a very fun voice. To explore and collect items, I would actually pay for it. Really? That sounds cool. Maybe I will do that. Money? What do it looks like when I put actually a light source around here? Because it's obviously got normals on it. Yeah, that's very cool. I haven't done ZBrush work in a while, so this is just like me having a little bit of a play around. Wow, it looks way better with just some lighting in the scene. I probably actually do need some lanterns. I got obviously these guys, but I probably need some hanging lanterns in here. Well, yeah, it looks way better with a little bit of lighting. Oh, look at that. Right, again. I'm going to ask you to do that too. Hell yeah. Right. I hope you guys enjoyed. I actually have a proper microphone to record stuff like that as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I will catch you guys on the Wednesday, where we continue our very important work. See you guys then. Bye. Before I get you, I'm showing you so you know. Game cool. Right there. All right. Goodbye. Mwah.